All right, we are live. Hello, everyone, and thank you all for joining us here today for another episode of Touching You. Want to give a big shout out to Elder Sheila again for allowing us the opportunity to use this platform to just come on and connect and for one, me and my brother can connect and just chop it up and catch up on things that's been going on in our lives, but also just to give a platform for us to give the glory of God for one, in the hardness or softness that we do decide to give it, just here on this platform. But again, thank you again just for the opportunity, and again, thanks again to my boy Denzel for joining us here today. We got my boy, my homie, Mr. Cool himself,
Ooh,
Denzel Tucker, here with us today. How's it going, man? How you living?
man, I am truly blessed.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. Thank you for having me and inviting me back on. I was on a couple months back and I had so much. I've been encouraging people to use their platforms, whether they're on a podcast or whether they work to um, be transparent and really be have a word of mouth for God. And so I figured I'd follow up on my own advice. So, bro, thank you for having me, and I'm really grateful to be here. So I can't complain, man. I can't complain.
Right, man, always, man. It's always smooth having you on, man. Or just in general, right? Whenever we talk outside or even here on the platform, bro, it's always deep and something that we can both kind of take and apply to our lives. Again, hard or soft, bro. Um, But here, man, today we're just gonna kind of just catch up with each other about some of the things that's been going on in our lives, our day-to-day walk, with our faith, or just in general being a man here in this world. A lot of new changes coming and hitting every day as a black man out here and a growing black man at that. I believe you are you a little bit older than me or younger than me?
I just turned 30 last month. I think you older.
Okay, yeah, okay, all right.
Don't age me, bro.
Early
Don't
30s.
age. Don't age me.
Chill. But yeah, early 30s, young men, coming from the big illustrious Prairie View A&M University, where we
Represent.
met in 2K12, fall of 2012, freshman year on the Hill. And then even further on going, he and I started our professional careers at the same company the same year also. And then also, further on into that, we also were laid off at the same time
Yeah,
this company. But it just seems like this long walk when you have walked a lot of it together, bro, and
absolutely.
still doing it now. And so I always have the pleasure of calling you in to share some of your insights and just love that you got for people, the world, and everything, bro.
No, absolutely, absolutely. We have been on a even you didn't even tell them that we also ended up in at the same apartment complex around the corner from each other. Times when he didn't have, I had, and times I didn't have, he had. So we really have really built a strong bond and community. They say it takes a village, and it really does. So thankful for your intentionality as far as reaching out and just being the true word of a friend and a brother. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Straight up.
Man, I appreciate that, bro. I try to be, the best role model that I can my young brothers.
I'm gonna let that one slide, but continue.
But now, but in the series, we can kind of get rolling into what we're going to speak on today. I did just draw out a few points to touch on. First would be just kind of personal journey and reflections. Of course, we just spoke through that we have kind of walked a good journey together. Um, Not all bad, there's a whole lot of good, and so there's a lot of things to take away from it as well. So just want to kind of talk through that. I couldn't remember. Are you from Houston? I'm from Houston.
I was raised in Houston,
Yeah.
but I'm originally from Miami, Florida.
No,
Shout
okay.
out 305.
Uh,
But I'm originally from Miami, Florida. I was raised here on the north side of Houston. So I know you from Dallas.
That's right. That's right. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, the Cowboys, but
Ah,
yeah.
yeah, it's okay. Y'all are definitely having just a little bit of a better year than us this year. Congratulations.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I can't. I've been practicing not hating as much when it comes to the football.
Uh,
So
understood.
the Lord has been working on me. So
He needs to work on all y'all fans, but we're gonna pivot. We're gonna
Okay,
keep
that's
it.
okay.
Yeah.
But I was curious, man. We like I said, hitting our 30s now, getting to the kind of pivotal times of our lives, um,
Mhm.
uh, in our careers as well, where maybe a move wouldn't be something that's not so, something a big X for us anymore, right? So I was wondering, bro, would you ever move from Houston?
Absolutely. Um, but mind you, that's a faith walk. To be honest with you, I just recently joined. Well, not just recently, but I say recently because it's been in the past year. Have joined my church at Good Hope Missionary Baptist for those who are looking for a church home. And to be honest, that's really been the thing that's been keeping me here, aside from family, friends, etc.
Yeah.
But my church, man, has really kept me rooted.
Yeah.
No pun intended, but rooted, and wanting to learn and grow. And although I could watch online, the fellowship, I feel like that people can miss out on
Yeah. Yeah.
by going into church, shaking hands, hugs, whatever, rubbing elbows, and kind of networking, even in church. Culture that our pastor DZ Cofield has set. I mean, it's nothing short of remarkable.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm definitely open to moving, man. I think the biggest thing that I've learned coming up in this new era, I call it a new era, being 30, right? Is always be open to change. I think before, earlier in my 20s, I was kind of more caught in the mundane of what I was
No.
used to doing and
Yeah.
going to places I used to go to, and you know what I mean. And then you get to this age, and you kind of like, man, you start scratching your head and start thinking to yourself, I mean, this can't be all what
Yeah.
it's about,
Yeah.
and not that you have to be doing bad or whatever, but it's just, it has to be more to
Right.
life, so to
Yeah.
speak. Yeah.
Kind of feel like it's been overdone.
Yeah. You want to experience new things. I tell people all the time, your taste buds change. That's
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
that's truly okay. You know what
Uh-huh.
I'm saying? So yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
with the so that's one barrier that like you would definitely have to take that faith walk on with, kind of finding a new church home. Like that would be one of the strings just kind of pulling you to say not to leave.
Yeah.
What would be another one
To,
if you
to
were to name like three off the top of your head?
three what
Kind of
exactly?
strings that would stop you from wanting to move, and then I guess what would be three reasons that would pull you?
Three reasons that would stop me from moving. I would definitely say my church. I think I already said that.
Mhm.
Obviously, family I consider as well. I play a very pivotal role in my niece's life. As you can see, they got their artwork all behind me.
Yeah.
You understand? So, and all of them. I have four,
Mm.
and although they are not my kids, they feel like a piece of me. And so the great job that my siblings have done of raising them, I like to continue to see that. So that definitely family and that next generation. And I think lastly, the thing that would keep me here,
Mhm.
really that I think that's really the main two, to be completely honest. I guess the third one would be my mom, but like the it's really just two, because she fits under family. But things that will pull me, one, obviously, if God told me to, hey, this is what I have for you to do. Two, if I saw a better opportunity. I'm in a place right now where I am trying to pivot careers, and I know that sometimes in order to go in a new direction, you have to really take a bigger leap.
Mm.
And so I've had to remind myself that on this journey, you're really going to have to get outside of your comfort zone. You may have to talk to more people. You may have to, you know what I mean? And so I have to be mindful of that. Going back to what I said about change. So that, and then what else would pull me? I would also say,
That's
what do
opportunity.
you say?
I said money, but yeah, that's
Well,
yeah.
opportunity. I was gonna say money, but
Yeah. To be
opportunity,
politically correct.
opportunity. Like, what is the opportunity like? Getting, like you said before. For those who don't know, we work in a consulting firm, and one thing that I'm sure you could attest to this yourself. That a hard lesson I learned is I guess I call it, learn how deep something gets. Meaning, don't just focus on being a great consultant. really think about your career track. I think I would give my younger version that advice. Like I was, I was making good money. I was
Yeah.
traveling for work. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Saving money, of course. Not really living a fast life, but I don't think I was as intentional of like what career I want to grow into. And so, having kind of going through that rat race, so to speak, I think it's kind of allowed me to really say, like, what is it that I truly desire to do?
That's
You know,
good.
why, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
No, that's really good because that's actually what's going to be one of my points, right there to kind of talk about if you could go back to that time. I guess age range, we were fresh out of college, and we did about 3 years. So just from there in that time frame, advice you would give yourself. And so you kind of touched on that. I know for me, I can easily point out some of my immaturities, like easy.
Bruh.
I can easily point out some of my immaturities and with that opportunity that I was given, I kind of took advantage of it, and maybe I wasn't, I think I spent a lot of years after we were laid off trying to figure out, dang, like why did it
Yeah.
happen? You know what I'm saying? Why
Me, right? Yep. Yep.
they literally pulled a name out the hat and it happened to be us,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and also in those same thoughts, I go back to think like, but did I deserve it? Was I doing everything that I could to also keep it? Or
Yes.
was I doing everything that I could have done with that opportunity? And I think those are some of the things that I kind of like think on heavily now, or like with the opportunities that I get today. I'm like, man, I want to give 100% to it, even if I don't feel like the job is big enough to be noticed by everybody. What I don't want them to notice is the immaturity of it, even if it's not big enough.
Right.
I have such a barrier of what I don't want them to see that I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go hard regardless.
No, and that's a to piggyback off you. That's a really good point.
Yeah,
My pastor and I even question other people like, are you the thermostat or are you the thermometer? And before we even hopped on, I was just telling you, I'm like, man, I'm tired of allowing circumstances to dictate life to me. I'm ready to change
yeah,
that mentality
yeah.
and cultivate a new mentality of like, no, I'm dictating how life goes. God willeth, of
Yeah.
course, but
We're gonna let
I'm setting the tone, regardless if I don't like my job. I'm to your point,
mm-hmm.
because I've been there too.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be the best at it because one, that's what God requires us to be. Is that, if you're doing something, do it as you're doing it for Christ, mind, and not look at people outside of the scope. Well, I don't want this person to feel this way, or I don't care about a promotion, or it's not even about that. And to your point, do everything with a grit mindset, execution, right? So that, yeah, I agree. I just wanted to piggyback off that because it's really important. We get caught up in a title or what we're not getting. And for me, I'll speak for myself. I think that it's funny because God always he'll bring you to a place and then leave you there until you change your heart or till you change your mind. And so for me, it was a place maybe of ungratefulness in certain aspects. Like, man, I'm doing all this and I haven't got a promotion. I haven't got a raise. But it's like, bro, you have no job. you know, you have no job. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be perspective. Got to keep perspective.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. What in doing so, do you have like a certain driving factor that helps you keep that mindset? Like, is it having signs up? Some people would argue. I used to say this is some of my again immature days. I would say like my tattoos were reminders.
Yeah.
And I guess let me not say that's immature because it really was to me, and I guess I really took it as that. I
Okay.
would think of an idea or something would be so pivotal in my life at that moment. I would try to identify it in a kind of a creative way and tattoo it on myself
Okay.
as a reminder of where I was during that phase or a key idea or key moment in my life of that phase.
Right.
And so, some people have other kind of things they use like signs, on the walls, something as a reminder every day. Is that something that maybe that you use kind of as advice to?
You know what? I would say here recently, yes. May sound cheesy. And mind you, I say this because it's funny you asked me that question. Coming into 2024, I told my New Year's resolution was to work. That was it. I keep my stuff simple. Work on yourself. Find jobs. I started this year unemployed. Find a job, and continue working in your faith.
Yeah.
And in saying that, my pastor had brought up. I was part of one of my goals was also to read, and part of that working on myself. On one separate note, my pastor was talking about creating a mission statement for yourself. And I'm like, I mean, it kind of sound. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of sound cheesy at the time. I was like,
Yeah.
why do I create a mission statement? And then I was reading a book. I forgot which one it was, but it was talking about creating a mission statement. And I was like, okay, well, I heard, the saying goes, if you've heard two things from two separate people and they haven't talked, it's probably true.
Yeah.
So I have a dry erase board in my office where I'm sitting at right now that I keep up my mission statement. And this isn't necessarily for work. This is just for character development. Okay. And it's an acronym. And I'm gonna lean over so y'all don't think I'm like sideways on y'all. But it says, I serve, I seek to understand, I empathize with others, I reflect on how I can be better, I value relationships, and every day I walk in my purpose with faith. I'm really a person of like bullet points, lines, but and the true heart of a disciple, being a follower of Christ, is to serve and have a servant mentality in the heart. So I kind of use that word to cultivate my growth, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So that has been just one of many, but one of the key milestones for me.
That was good, bro. I'm still there. I'm definitely.
Hey! I send it to
you. Yeah, send me that for real. I want to steal that.
And that was freestyle, by the way. That like I sat down and took time. What I'm saying is, I sat down and took time to really, it was in the book. It was talking about, think of some things that you want to embody. Don't just think of it like, oh, I want to accomplish great things. Like, be specific. Like it could be an acronym, it could be a sentence, it could be a word, like one word that comes to mind. Ambitious, as an example.
Right.
But let it have meaning to you because it's your mission statement, and don't move off of it.
Right.
It's a benchmark, so to speak. Don't move off of it. Always seek to understand. For me, always seek to understand. Why? Because I want to have better relationships. Because I said I value relationships.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so every day people say they want to walk in purpose, but
make it connect.
Still with intentionality. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But I sent it to you.
Yes, no, that was good, bro. You eating right now. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, you eating right now. That was good. I'm actually gonna take a note on that also. Because like you said, I used to be one of the people that would, people say do a vision board or things like that. And I'm not wasting my time doing that. I definitely used to be one of those people, but it's repetition into your head though. It's kind of a drill in that kind of way, and I definitely want to pick up on just positive things of, you build positive spaces around you by starting in your head first.
And you know what? It's so funny. I'm like you. I wasn't a big proponent on vision boards. Personally, when people would throw parties and put pictures on things, oh, this is what God gonna give me. I'm like, no, he's not. No, but what seriously, on a serious note, what I did was, and I even cataloged it, but I did an exercise more so rather, because we're in that corporate field. So you've had those design thinking experiences. I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So what I did was I created more of like a vision board workshop, same concept, but I split the board in four. I used my dry erase board and I split it in four. Career, I think it was career, personal, health, fitness or whatever, and spiritual. And I wrote sticky notes. You know what I'm saying? I wrote sticky notes on, I want to read 5 books for the end of the year. Post it. I want to read, which sounds like, well, that's not a lot, but I didn't have a habit already of reading as intentionally. And so y'all bear with me. But, I just put these things down. And then afterwards, well, that was before the new year, and I prayed over it. And then I went and tactically went through each month and say, okay, when do I want to have these done? Now, mind you, I would say a good portion of it got done, but the point is, like, I went a different way with it, but I think whatever kind of works for you. And this year, I'm actually adding a separate board, but it's like a prayer board. You know what I'm saying? Specifically around people or things in my life that I'm praying for that aren't necessarily tangible. Things like strongholds, things like generational curses. So,
Okay.
it's been really weighing on me to be more intentional about that. And mind you, this isn't something I've been doing. This is something that I'm just trying to. We talk about growth, right?
Right, right.
So this is something that I'm trying to emulate and then see if I can be like, yo, Cal, like, let me tell you what I did. Let me tell you how it worked for me.
Yeah.
Not even
Well,
I'm asking God for
I
things,
was
but
gonna
I
say,
want to, I want to be delivered from things. It's not even like I'm praying for a house, not necessarily tangible. I mean, everyone does what they want to
okay,
do, but
yeah,
it's like there's a spiritual battle. Sometimes I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes I wake up every day and it's hard to pray. It's hard to talk to God, not because he's
yeah,
hard to talk to, but
right.
I may not feel worthy, or I may not have the strength, or I just woke up feeling spiritually attacked. You know
That's
what I'm
good.
saying? And so, just being reminded of that, I think, is something, like I said, something I'm going to emulate going into this new year.
Nah, that was good. You actually just you started going. And I feel like you started pumping the brakes on the something really good at the end there, bro. Um, having those moments where um, maybe you don't feel worthy. You don't feel
Yeah,
and sometimes, like you said, it's not even the things that are happening on the outside. Sometimes, most of the time, it's things that are happening on the inside.
yeah,
And drawing out a vision board, you can put $1 million car on. Shoot, I got videos of cars behind me. I've never actually seen physically in real life. you know, um,
right,
but like you said, not those things. I want to put, I want to be delivered from this spirit that's been going on in my life. I
yeah,
want to deliver from this, or I want to gain this type of, I guess, what divine anointment,
yeah,
to be able to help people with this,
right, exactly,
me this blessing so that I can bless others with this, and I
right.
think that's cool. That shows a true genuineness about you again, bro. That even those are the type of things that you're focusing on. So that's why I love you, man. I was
Hey, love you too, man. For real. Like I said, I've been trying to have, and the book I read was talking about this, a growth mindset.
like,
It's not kind of like what you were sharing earlier. It's not we were both talking about. It's not enough to be in that role as an employee, right? What do you want to do? How do you want to grow in that? Same thing spiritually. It's not enough just to go to church or just to show up for church,
come on,
right? But how do we um, uh,
truly serve.
yeah, truly serve, and we talked about this last week. Live
Yep.
your faith every day. Like, how do we make sure that we're doing that so like people see God in us? See,
Mm.
God is real, but He's real in us,
Yeah.
right? As being disciples. So yeah,
Right, bro.
absolutely.
You keep crunching on all of my questions I got for
Ah,
you.
my bad, man. Hey, I'm say too much. You're done.
Right. No, you good, man. So I did just kind of want to jump for a little bit, just a little more um on like some of the things that we do. So right, we have our career, and which is like the heavy part of being an adult or a man, right? We want to make sure our career is online. We want to make sure it's where we need it to be, and we're making good money and things like that. But sometimes we lack focus of the things on the side that make us happy. Like, you know, um, I haven't heard you talk about DJing in a long time, actually. Now that I'm thinking about some of the things that I remember that you used to do on the side that you used to like really, really like to love to do. And I just talked about that. I've heard you. Are you still DJing?
Yes, I haven't in a while. I've
Okay.
got asked to actually DJ something for Tyreek. It's funny, he hit me today. It was like, hey, you
Oh, if you
I'm
only
like,
listen to Tyreek.
yeah, right. Big shout out to him. But yeah, I told you I'm keeping it short.
Right.
Yes, I am still DJing. I just been focused on other things. I haven't really had the time. So I still
Yeah.
love to do it though. Still a great hobby to have.
Okay. So, is it fair to say some of the bigger things in your life right now, just you feel like they're kind of taking a front seat of some of the I guess less, I wouldn't say less important, but just some of the just when something takes a priority, you kind of have to focus and shift there. Are there things in your life right now that you feel that you're putting in the front seat of fun things?
Yeah, and I'll say this, mind you. Well, I'll start by saying this. As a kid, my mother used to always say, "Idle minds, the devil's workshop."
Huh.
She was very serious about, militant, in fact, about not allowing any of her children to just go to school and come home. Like, you weren't going to do that. If you weren't playing sports, you're going to be in AP classes. You're going to be on a step team. You're going to be on like you're going to do something.
Yep.
That being said, um, I've reprioritized how I've been in the process. There we go. Of reprioritizing how I spend my time since I joined church. I got baptized in April. Shout out.
Shout out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But and I only say this because I had been out of church for 3 or 4 years. And I had some church hurt from previous church that I was a part of, kind of grew up in that church.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I don't like guys, people like that. I like God,
You're right.
but fast forward, I've kind of told myself going into this new opportunity to start fresh, to start anew, that I would be as intentional as possible. So that being said,
Yeah.
now I'm a ministry leader for our young adult ministry. I think I shared that with you.
Yep.
I've been facilitating a group in my church called, one of many, because
Mhm.
there's other people who facilitate this specific.
Right.
It's called Rooted and Grounded. It's basically a life group, 10 weeks. We have different curriculums, and so people are touched and are blessed by it. It's hard to explain if you haven't been a part of it, but
Being a part of auxiliary, it's a lot of different pieces. Yeah. I get
yeah, and so the reason why I'm saying that is because that really has been occupying my time.
Yeah.
Like, serious, outside
Yeah.
of work and relationships and family, that's been occupying my time. And it's so funny because I realized, like, when you get closer to God,
Mhm.
everything else really seems like it doesn't matter.
It does not
It,
matter.
it, it doesn't. And don't get me wrong, there's been times I've slipped into old ways, wasted time, or what I'm saying, sitting around BS. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say my life is perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But especially coming into this 30th year, coming into a new year, because my birthday is in November. Shout out to all the Scorpios out there, November baby specific. But
Yeah.
coming into this whole new year, I have been thinking, I'm sure we had this talk as well,
Yeah.
about the type of man and the type of person I want to be going forward. I know who I've been before. Your twins are kind of weird, get out of college, trying to figure it out, but really kind of thinking about that. So yeah, it's definitely been more of a priority as of lately to be more intact,
Hmm.
surfing, and that's occupied my time more. Again, I know I said work, but I
That's
mean work.
good. Yeah. No, that's good, right? So in that, right, do you feel like, they say you get preached to all your life, when you turn your life over to God, things are gonna start happening. Your life's gonna turn around, it's gonna
Yeah,
happen fast. But
yeah,
you really start walking with God, and when it's your turn to do it for real, you know what I'm saying? You start realizing that things don't happen as fast as you wanted to. But also, you're always been told, it may not come when you want it, it's always on time.
yeah.
And that's one of the things I started to learn in my walk as well. Yeah, I wanted it just as bad as I did maybe 3 years ago, but today it's just a little bit sweeter. It's a little bit sweeter today
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it actually was right on time. I
yeah.
decided that tomorrow I was going to change and do it a whole different way.
Hmm.
Came right on time.
No, that's important. No, I
Right.
speak about it. Speak
Come on,
about it.
come on now. I want you to speak about it. Come on.
Uh, you know
You
what? I'll
on
say
your
for
new journey. Do you feel like things have been coming fast? Do you feel like you are on that walk? To, no, come on, tell me.
man, God has not only God has given me check-ins, but He's given me the scenic route. When I tell you, He's given me a scenic route, and I'm gonna be very transparent.
Yeah.
Before I even got back into church, I was making good money. I had my own apartment, townhome, not apartment, townhome.
Mhm.
I had 2 cars. You
Nice,
know what I'm saying? Like,
nice.
you saw my pad. Hey, it was fly.
I feel
I literally moved into a new space in March. I'm skipping over a lot, but I moved into a new space at the beginning of last year,
Mhm.
2023, and I lost my job the very next day.
Mhm.
And mind you, I went without a job for the rest of the year. And so, I had joined church in between that time, and things just kept getting like piling on and piling on. I just saw myself losing things,
Yeah.
material things, people in my life,
Hmm.
and also in passing, grieving and things like that.
Right.
And so, God was really, it's so funny. I was telling someone, you can be amongst people and still feel isolated. You know what I'm saying? And so,
That's a good
um,
one as well, bro.
God had to do some work on me, because I think one of the things I found out,
Uh-oh. You froze, brother. Uh-oh. You froze. You froze, brother. Or maybe it's me frozen. All right. If y'all can still hear and see me, please give me a shout in the comments. I think I may be frozen. There we
okay, you
go.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, did it freeze? Hold on.
Yep. Yeah. All right. I
I
think
didn't
we.
hit nothing.
Yeah.
In short, that's them telling me to hurry up. I was trying to be self-reliant, and I think God really, really, y'all had to humble me. Not even that I was arrogant, but being self-reliant or trying to be self-reliant is a form of arrogance to God.
Right. Right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to only depend on yourself. When I say self-reliant, only depend on yourself, not ask nobody for help. It's a pride thing. It's
Pride.
a pride
Yeah.
thing.
Uh-oh. Froze again, Denzel. It must be storming out there like it's storming out here. Go back again. All right, everyone, please stick around. We're gonna get Denzel get Denzel figured out. But while we're waiting on Denzel to get his screen together, I will be happy to share my journey of walking faith and did he okay, I think he hopped off to hop back on. Yeah. All right. Let's see again. Yeah. Okay, yeah, he left to come back. He's going to be back soon. But yeah, talk about my journey as well. So, yes, I can still hear and see you. Thank you, Finn. Thank you, brother, for letting me know. Now that we got that confirmed, it's myself, right? As my brother was explaining, that pride can be definitely a blocker in your walk in your journey. Um, he and I again have walked very very similar paths when it comes to our journey in general, right? We're both very spiritually based, with loving God and knowing that He is our head of our lives, but also went out and maybe chose to go see the world in times of our lives rather than when we were prioritizing what God wanted for us. So that's where we speak about, when we had our jobs and our careers, they essentially God blessed us with. Um, Maybe we, kind of became just a little more arrogant about it. Had our chest was a little bit higher than our prayer hands was. Um, I know I definitely had a happy walk. And when it came to the time where I did feel like things were being stripped away from me, I did know I needed to go to God because God is who ultimately is and can, yeah. Welcome back, brother.
Man, listen, I don't know what happened, but you see when you start talking about guys, just
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead. But I hate
Hallelujah.
that I
Yeah.
even missed it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, nah, you good, man. Yeah, and God, he definitely reaffirms his place in your life, especially when you um are his dedicated child, in which we all are when we decide to make that decision. Um, he's chosen us first, and all he's waiting at the door for us to choose him, and but he also wants us to choose him in the way that he asks us to choose him. And I think again that's a piece of the puzzle that me and Denzel, when we were walking, yeah, we proudly would say, God gave me this, God gave me this, but at the same time, we finna go and party and have a good time too, making the good money or whatever it was. We weren't prioritizing what should have been prioritized, I think. Again, and those are what some of the things that I always want to make sure to focus on moving forward. Like he said, not necessarily that we changing everything what we're doing, but changing our reasons of why and what our intents are in what we're doing. um
Yeah.
I want you to truly see the intent of my heart, or to put it in even more layman terms. When I say back when we had our great jobs, or I can speak for myself, when I had an amazing job, um it wasn't that my work wasn't good, but it was how I was doing my work. Um, what
Mm.
did I think it was so important to present myself at the highest way that I should, or did I think, as long as I get the job done, it's fine either way. But no, did I
Yeah.
go the extra mile to go and network with other people? Did I do those things? And those were the pieces of the puzzle that I now would no longer allow any slack or missed piece of Calvin ever to ever happen again. And um it's not because I want more money or things like that, but it's because I want to present what God has shown to me. It's like, no, I need you to see that you are great. You are amazing. Use that amazing to go be amazing in the world. What you do, you should do it unto as if you're doing it unto God. So you should never be giving God half. You should always give him 100%. So I choose to do 100% in everything I do now. Going to the gas station,
Okay, Reverend.
we're going at 100%.
Fill up the tank.
We're gonna fill the tank all the way up.
Uh,
We're not doing half tanks no more.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
we're
yeah. No,
going.
that's real. I think that God has put me in a position where you talk about 100%, to be more intentional about relationships, since I think I shared that was I saw that was a struggle point for me.
Mhm,
It was something I had struggled with, family, friends, etc. And just really more so maintaining them, not having them,
mhm,
because I have felt for a while that I've kind of been a lone wolf. I'm here today and going tomorrow, always on the move.
mhm,
That being said, and Calvin's one of few friends that I have kept up with for so long, not just because of the close proximity, because we don't even live in the same city as of now.
mhm.
But just and I really just think that's partially due to his intentionality, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah,
Even when I was trying to find an apartment, he was like, "Hey man, come over here." And I'm like, "Man, Calvin, I'm not coming over." He's like, "Oh man, come over here." And so I did, and it's so funny because I had been. I'm gonna bring God into it. I promise y'all. I had been looking for a while, and I got denied and denied. And I'm like, dude, like my credit ain't bad where I can't get a property, but
yeah.
it just felt like the property, man, because I wanted a townhome. You know what I'm saying? And the places I was trying to rent were kind of like private places at the time, and basically, and so they weren't property managed. They were
Right.
like what is it? Owner.
Yeah.
They were rented out.
Associations.
Yeah, by
Mhm.
homeowner. There we go. I'm sorry. That being said, when I put in an application, I got approved in like the next day, and I was like, "Oh, all right," and so, but I've realized looking back, like man, like we needed each other there.
No,
We
for
needed
real.
each other there. God had planted the seed, like we needed each other there, and I'm sitting here to tell you as a living testament, looking back. Like for real, we used to go on Walmart runs together. We used to, we used to go out together.
Yeah,
Okay, had some
yeah,
episodes
yeah,
there, but
yeah,
but
yeah,
but and we've always had each other's back.
yeah.
And there's things that he's pointed out, because it's funny. I've never had a lot of male friends that will come out. Usually some of your male friends, guys, they'll just roll with some of the stuff you do as long as it's not affecting them. But
Right.
he's pulled me to the side on things how I've affected other people and been like, hey man, like I noticed you said XYZ, or I noticed you did XYZ.
Mhm,
You should probably look to change that. Let me tell you why.
mhm.
And not even that I was offended, because well, for me, we do things to people, or we say things and we don't ever, I guess, sometimes consider how it may come off, even if we're playing or even if we have a relationship with that person, but it doesn't matter. And so again, hats off to my brother Calvin for always keeping it honest, and in his honesty, it's never to pick you apart.
Mm,
It's to help grow you. And
mm,
that's why, like I told him before, hey bro, like you need anything, you need me to hop on, like it's nothing, because people like that you move for. And God has, like I said, been a great addition on top of what we already had.
mm.
Because we would talk about God, but not to this magnitude. So to see the spiritual growth on both sides has
Right.
been nothing short of a blessing.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did used to have our little moments. We just kind of, when we weren't being, fun and bad, we were being serious too. We would have our
Oh
moments.
yeah, oh yeah,
you know.
absolutely. Come on.
Yeah. But so man, do you have any big plans for anything in the future? Do you have, I guess if you were to have a 5-year, 10-year plan, that's actually always been one of the hardest questions for me to answer. I've always kind of attacked things day by day. But here recently I've like adjusted from that. I'm like been trying to draw out like plan. I want to be a planner. Like it's so important to me to be a planner. And I'm curious, man, are
Yes.
you have you had any thoughts of what maybe you want to be doing here in like the next year or 2 years, or what you see yourself in 5 years?
I'll start with the year.
Okay.
As far as the year goes, I already talked to God about it. I'm gonna be stepping into a new role here soon, and you
Okay.
guys are saying, "What role?" I don't know.
You're
That's
right.
what I got
You're
to
right.
figure out. I'm applying and thinking through. I want to step more into my creative side, and I say that because I think for a while, part of the reason why I think that God has had me in this season so long is
Mm,
because He's tried to reveal certain things to me of like, hey, this is really where you should be going, and you should bet on yourself, but not on yourself, really on me.
mm,
And again, in church, I was listening, and it says, and my pastor explicitly said, God doesn't give you the spirit of fear. So if you feel fearful, we kind of feared, bet on ourselves or
yeah,
whatever, it's
yeah.
not of God.
That's
And me
not
had
coming from
been on this journey for so long, I was like, well, I guess he's right. You know what I mean? So doubt, fear, all of that, I've kind of like
all of it. Yeah.
disassociated that and being
Mhm.
able to call it what it is instead of saying that I am fearful or I'm doubtful. That
Yeah.
being said, I'm moving to this new year doing more creative stuff in a creative role, along the lines of marketing, along the lines of content creation, videos, brand awareness is kind of like the area that I'm trying to get into. And so I am going to get into. And
Let's go.
so that's primarily my focus. Additionally, I'd like to really, I like to move. I'd like to start getting some things, getting back on my feet. I have been giving away so many clothes, not just for the holidays, but
Hey,
I
my
just
boy
like
got
to
some
wear
good
stuff no
clothes.
more. And I only say that because I was going out serving at these places, and every time I'll ask the person, what does it need here? And they may say, man, be a men's clinic, or some with some young children, young men, twice my size or whatever. And they say, well,
Yeah,
man, these young men, they need clothes. I'm like, man, I'm sitting over here on all this stuff. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So aside from like material stuff, this upcoming year, like I said before, I put kind of together a small little plan of like certain routines and habits that I'd like to have, going back to that prayer board, so to speak, going
Right,
back
right.
to
Hmm.
following up with people, being intentional about people. I think most of my goals for the new year, outside of career wise, anything tangible, has more so been centered around relationships,
Okay.
if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I want a new career, and yes, all of that stuff is great. As I said before, I'm moving into a new career, so I'm not expecting I'm gonna make what I made. You know what I'm saying? And God can do what He wants to do, but
Right. Yeah.
He's gonna do that.
Mm.
But I think the biggest thing that I've been tasked with going into this new year is an emphasis on relationships and how to manage those. So that's some of
That's good though.
Benny. That's the goals that I have for the next year. Next 5 years, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I don't know. I don't know, man. And things change
Yeah, yeah.
by day, by month. Feelings change or
Right,
circumstances
right.
change. Where you have to pivot, and that's one thing I've learned this past year: the art of the pivot. Like, man, I thought I was gonna go this way, but man, I got to
Mm,
go this way now. You know what I mean? I have to go this way, or that pushes me that direction. You
right,
don't realize why until after. So yeah.
right. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Well, no, man. Shoes. A lot of one thing that I wrote down. Um, we how it had literally just came onto me like it was nothing but God. But bro, I think a lot of times we don't give ourselves credit. You know what I'm saying? Of some of the things that we have like mastered over the years too. There
Mhm.
are a lot of things that we have actually like we checked it off of our board, you know? Like we have it on that board, or maybe we didn't write it down because we didn't see it as important enough and we overlook it, you know? But man, we
Yeah.
have checked so much on our list, man, and we gotta always like, of course, this isn't preaching to you because we definitely have that knack, of kind of staying encouraged. But you know, just to note it still though, right? To put a literal sense of acknowledgement on it. Sometimes we can overdo that or overlook that, and sometimes you gotta give yourself credit, give yourself that pat on the back, kind of sit back and relax your shoulders and like, dang, I know for myself, I'm so intense. My shoulders are up and I'm moving at full speed. I don't think to sit down and relax and be like and look at what I've actually placed around me. It's like, oh, I've actually done some good things, not I with the grace of God, but wow, God has really had his hands on me the
Right.
whole time. Literally the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's
Absolutely.
crazy. You think back on it, you can laugh and all of that. But that's also one of the things that I love about like you, right? Man, we can talk about all the things that we done and did, and all the things that we plan to do and all of that, but we would literally just kind of miss over this place that we in right now. And we really are in really good places. But we want more. That's
Absolutely.
yeah. We just want more.
Oh,
Let's get
okay. And to your point, it's a
break
journey.
up
It's
again.
all learned. Oh, y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little
Can you
bit.
hear
Can
me?
you
Hold up.
I think we
I
can hear
promise I got my Wi-Fi on. Hold up.
you. You out there in Houston, boy. I think I yeah, we
It's
I think
the defense.
uh uh
You
nope. It's breaking up. Let me see.
know?
Uh, yeah, he had to go again. His Wi-Fi, he out there in Houston, y'all. I know it's storming out here, so it may even be me. But again, we thank everyone for joining us here today. It's been a great episode of Touching You. Thank you again, Elder Sheila, for allowing us the platform here tonight. Of course, you will see us all again soon to come and share some more updates of where we are in life and what we're doing. But again, I just want to give all praises to God, who has allowed us to again be here alive and happy and strong in our right minds here today. We're all blessed in our areas and designations of where we are and where we're going to go in life. Um, if anything we can do is always we want to preach to stay encouraged. There's a long road ahead, and we know it, and we are happy to keep going on this journey. And it's been a long road behind us, also. So, if anything, again, if that my brother can give out and preach out to anyone, it's just remain encouraged. Keep your heads to the sky. Um, and again, pat yourself on the back. Know that anything can be done if you put your minds to it. The will of the Lord is always the best, even if it's time to pivot, make another decision. or make a better decision. Just know that if you follow what God wants for you, it's going to be the best either way. All right, everyone. Thank you all again for joining us. Peace out.